Today, I want to show you guys the top 4 tips and tricks that I can almost guarantee you won't find on any other YouTube channel in regards to the Z Fold 7. Now, these tips and tricks would actually work for pretty much any other Samsung device. So, with that being said, I'm going to get straight into it, starting with number 1. In order for you to understand why number 1, let me use the previous fold. So in the previous fold, right, when you have a one-handed mode, right, one of the things I loved about the Z Fold 4 and prior devices is the ability to scroll down your notification panels and quick access, toggles with the fingerprints. It makes it so much easier to use a one-handed mode. So all you have to do is just swipe and you can get your notification panels. Tell me, isn't that so easy? Because think about it, in order for you to reach it, otherwise you would have to go all the way over here and swipe. Now you can always do it from the home screen and just swipe, but let's say if you are in your phone log, right, now you can't swipe. If you are, let's say, in your app screen, now you can't swipe. So with the Z Fold 4, you just simply swipe and it comes down. If you want to do it all the way, you would have to drag and drop, right? So because I hadn't used any other version of the Fold, I didn't realize that Samsung actually took that away. So I was very disappointed when I found out that this screen is longer and bigger, but they took away the ability to swipe down. However, there's another workaround for it. Now with the Z Fold 7, you can always swipe down on your on your home screen, but once again, if you are here, you won't be able to swipe down. The trick is now is using the sides of the phone, so you can see my notification swipe down from just doing this, right? And also the other side as well. This isn't by default. This is something that you have to set. The key thing is you would have to go into something called good luck. If you have Samsung, I hope by now you know what good luck is. If you don't know what good luck is, man, you are missing out. If you don't know what good luck is, you need to go into your app store and search good luck and download it immediately. Once you download good luck, right, you're going to see all these apps in there. Things like 9shot. Let me show you the ones that you can download whichever one you would like to try and just, add it. But the ones that I currently have is Multistar, Nice Catch, Nice Shot, One-Handed Operation, and Sound Assistant. For this specific one, I'm going to go with one-handed because that's what's going to give us the ability to, use the sides. So click on one-handed, play it. You can see now these bars showed up. This is how you can customize the sides. You can see, so for example, the right side of my screen, every time I swipe this way, it's gonna go back. When I swipe upwards, it's gonna give me a split screen. When I swipe downwards, it's gonna pull down the notification panel. If I do a long swipe, it's gonna show me a quick tools. I don't have the diagonal and the diagonal down as far as long swipe settings. I don't have that down. You can also adjust the height, right? So for what I mean by adjust the height is position. So you can raise it up or lower it depending on whatever you want. You can change the color, although I have mine at max transparency. That way I don't see these bars at all. But if you want, you can have the colors on there. That way you can see it. And then for the that was the right side. For the left side, as you can see, I also have the tools. So straight back, it goes back. Diagonal up, it's the screenshots. Diagonal down, it's the notification panel. If I do a long swipe, I get a pause music or pause YouTube or whatever it is that I'm playing. Swipe up diagonally, it's a split screen, and swipe down, I have nothing on there. Once again, I have this aligned. That way these two can be in the same size, right? So let me go back to my home screen and show you guys just what it does. Besides bringing the notification panels down, I can open my quick tools just by doing a long press. So once again, look at this. Bring quick tools. I can change the volume from here. I can change the brightness from here. I can turn on and off Wi-Fi. I can turn on and off Bluetooth, and I can even customize what I see here. So I also have flashlights, which I can turn off. I can adjust screen rotation. There is just, you can bring up the app panel from here. There is just so much you can do just from having these quick tools, and that's only because I have it set this way. Now if I swipe up like this, so I don't have any apps running right now, but let's say I have YouTube running, right? If I swipe up, now I have split screen. This is not something that is on by default. So for this side, if I just swipe up, I get a quick I get a screenshot, which I'm going to delete. And if I want to bring the notification panel, let's say I'm using my left hand, I want to bring down the notification panels, I just swipe down and brings it back up. So the one-handed mode just gives you a whole lot of flexibility when using your phone. And once again, this applies to just about any Samsung phone. It doesn't have to be the Fold specifically. You can swipe down, or you can use a quick, notification. So that is something good that it has. The second thing I want to show you guys is a feature called modes and routine. Now, a lot of you that use Samsung probably heard of modes and routine, but I'm going to show you in two specific ways that I make use of my foldable that most of you probably don't know or don't even think of. So when I'm using my phone in a candy bar style, I don't like to have auto screen rotation. So for example, if I'm in my music or whatever, I don't want it to auto rotate when I'm using it in a candy bar. When I'm using YouTube, I also don't want it to auto rotate. I just want it to be this way, right? However, when I have it in my foldable state, I want it to auto rotate just like that. The problem is if you have rotation off on the outsides, it's going to be off on the inside, which means you're not going to be able to easily rotate. In order for you to have your phone in such that it can rotate when open, whereas when closed, it doesn't rotate, you're going to need to use modes and routine. So for me, so this is the way I have my modes and routine set up. You can see here, I have something called foldable status. So when my phone is partially folded, it's going to auto rotate the screen. And when that ends, it's going to revert back to whatever it was before, which is disable screen rotation. So which means that if my phone is partially open like this, it automatically turn on screen rotate. But once it closed, it disables screen rotation. So that's for the partially folded situation. Now you're going to see this other one says folding status, right? This folding status is for when it's completely open flat. So when it's completely open flat, it's going to also allow for screen rotation. That way I can rotate it in whatever way I want. And once I close it, it also disables screen rotation. So now the screen rotation is disabled, and that's from using modes and routine. So that is one big thing that I use modes and routine for, but I also use modes and routine for a whole lot of other things. For example, when I'm at my house, right, I want to use Wi-Fi, but the moment I start driving away from my house, what I found is sometimes the phone was trying to keep connecting to Wi-Fi, which means that if I'm watching a UFC or YouTube, is gonna pause and just wait and take a long time to try and connect. So I have modes and routine set it to where whenever my Wi-Fi is less than 2 bars, it just automatically disables. As you guys can see, you can set it to 1 bar, 3 bar, 4 bars, or less than, equal to, or greater than. You can dictate if you wanted to disable Wi-Fi or enable Wi-Fi. And you can even add the location in which it's going to do that, but this is how I have it set up for Wi-Fi. And then here I have garage speakers. Whenever my Bluetooth is connected to my garage speakers, it's going to control my routine, which means that it's going to turn on all the fans in my garage because I'm about to work out whenever my phone automatically connects to Bluetooth. And the moment my phone disconnects from the Bluetooth, it also automatically turns off all the climate, which is all the fans in my garage. Now, this is something that it is great. I don't see any other phone brands do this, but with routine, it's incredible. Modes and routine is just simply one of the best things on a Samsung phones. ever, like seriously. And then here I have Samsung Dex to automatically disconnect when my battery reaches 15%. This is also something that you can do. That way my phone doesn't die while it's connected to Samsung Dex. Speaking of Samsung Dex, you can take advantage of the Fold 7 by using something called Samsung Dex. Now, a lot of times people think that they have to use an external monitor for Samsung Dex, but in reality, you can actually use an AR glasses. For example, here I have the Acryl 1 Pro, which is a augmented reality glasses that can be connected into this, and you're gonna get a giant screen. You can watch stuff in 3D. You can have a regular aspect ratio display, or you can have an ultra wide display, and then the phone itself turns into a mouse. Or you can also buy something like a mouse like this, or a mouse like this, which you can buy on YouTube. But speaking of, you can see that I love wood grain stuff because, you know, wood grain, brown leather, even my computer has the same theme as my phone, you know, brown, and then the same silver on it. My phone looks very much like my computer. But anyways, so that's another aspect of modes and routine. You can see over here I have specific time, which means that whenever my phone is around, whenever the time is around 10:21 p.m. to 11 a.m. the next day, I want my all these volumes turned down in specific ways. That way I don't wake up my girl if I'm trying to watch a movie or something like that. So that is the power of modes and routine. I encourage you to take advantage of this. Now, modes and routine can even be more powerful. Here you can see some like recommendations. Here you can discover other modes and routine that people have created. You can also go to Good Luck and download a more powerful versions of the modes and routine. But I don't need more power for that because what I have here with modes and routine is pretty good for me. So now that is the modes and routine with screen rotation. The next thing I want to talk about is camera music. So what I mean is, typically whenever you're recording, when you press video recording to record a video and your music is playing, it will automatically pause music. Now, I don't know about this phone or other Samsung phones, but I do know that in the previous phones, the moment you start recording music, it automatically pauses your music. What you can do is go into settings and then go into advanced video option. And then here you can see audio playback. This means whenever you're recording a video, it's not gonna pause your music. Now, if for some reason it still pauses your music, maybe you have an older phone or something, once again, you can always go to the Good Luck and download Sound Assistant. When you download the Sound Assistant, you can make it in such that no matter what app you're using, your music will always play. It doesn't matter if you're playing videos on YouTube, whatever it is, if you want your music to keep on playing, it will keep on playing. So this is something that is also another powerful feature of the modes and routine. So those are the three main things in regards to software or things that you can use. The fourth one would be something that I consider more of like an addition. If you're someone like me who is team no case, technically I have a skin, but I have this MagSafe thing in the back. I've shown in previous video how you can do this. If you want to do that, you can simply watch that video right there. But basically, without this, right, without this magnet, the phone is gonna basically wobble a lot. And with the magnets, you can prevent all that wobbly. No more wobble. Now, when the phone is open, right, and let's say you want to use it, it's still gonna wobble because of the camera and because of this. Now, even if you take this off, it's still gonna wobble. So what you gotta do is, so if you don't want that wobbling, you can also use this right here. Just turn it in the, actually, we're gonna turn it like this and stretch this thing out. Once you stretch it out, now no more wobble. It's very, very solid. So if you are somebody that wants to take note using like a digitizer or one of those generic S Pen, you can simply, use it like this with no wobble at all. And this thing just serves a whole lot of purposes. So you can also, obviously use it as a kickstand, just like this. It's gonna keep your phone kickstand. You can also, there's just so many ways you can use it. So let's say I want to have the phone standing like this. You can also do it that way. Now, another key thing that I use this stand for is, so when I have it like this, or when I'm using my phone in a tablet style, my fear of dropping it goes away simply by having my finger in this and just holding it like this. And the magnet is pretty strong. Like, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's gonna open before it actually falls off. So this right here gives me a pretty good security when holding the phone, either in slap style or in foldable status. But anyway, guys, there's gonna be a link in the description for this magnetic thing, and once again, I have already made a video on that. But yeah, those are the tips and tricks that I can almost guarantee you're not gonna see in other videos, because I've seen a lot of these videos, and one of the big things for me was this, being able to bring down notification panel like that, using quick tools. These are things that I've been using on previous phones, but I just haven't seen anyone talk about them. So now you have that. And also, one quick bonus is, if you take a screenshot, right, and you want to delete that screenshot, you can have your delete right there. Traditionally, there is no delete option, but if you go on Good Luck, again, click on Nice Shot, play it. Oh, that's a nice catch. If you go on Nice Shots, you can see here where it's gonna add delete button to your screenshot. So you can add delete button, you can disable crop snapping, you can turn on do not disturb whenever you're screen recording. That way something doesn't come over your screen while you're doing screen recording. There's just so much you can do with Good Luck. If you haven't tried it, I encourage you to try it. Multi-stars would also help you customize your foldable experience a whole lot better. You can see here I have rotate without best, which means that it's going to force any app to rotate. Some apps don't like to rotate. For example, the UFC app or the ESPN don't like to rotate upside down, but with rotate without best, it doesn't matter what orientation you put your phone in, it's going to force the app to rotate. Also, this remove blur effect when adjusting split screen view, let me show you what that looks like. So traditionally, this is gonna be off, right? Remove blur effect. Let me turn it off, and let's do a split screen. So if I do a split screen with, let's say, notes, right? You can see I actually used to use S Pen a lot. So this is one of those things where I was very, very disappointed that it took away S Pen. You can see like a lot of my stuff, I use like pen a lot. I'm one of those that actually uses the pen a lot. But anyways, that's besides the point. If you try to change the aspect ratio, it blurs out. I don't like that. I want to see what it is that I'm, how far it is that I'm moving the line, right? Well, with Good Luck in multi-star, you can click the part that says remove blur effect, and now whenever you move it, you can see how far you are adjusting the aspect ratio. That is pretty nice. But anyway, guys, those are the tips and tricks that I have for the Z Fold 7. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button.